audio. I don't know, I just can't figure it out. Even this many years into making content for the likes of YouTube and Odyssey, it still keeps letting me down. The last video was ridiculously quiet and this one is boomingly loud. Go figure, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of it. So I've had to subtitle this one just because of all the clattering and noise that's going on in there, so bear with. Copper recycling with Hello. Dave from Greencable. That's a weighty old bin there, isn't it?
You've actually you've filled it to the brim, and there's some more in the garden as well.
Yeah, we're not short of scrap cable. I did a video, it must be about 3 years ago now, about cable recycling. A lot of people said, oh, I can't be arsed with that, it just goes in the skip, mate.
Yeah.
Which is just nonsense, isn't it? Because this is, well, money for nothing really, isn't it?
It's money for old rope, and we get a lot of customers who do just that. They throw it in the skip. Some customers go to the scrapyard, but they find our service saves them a lot of time. They stick it in the bin, we tow up with the scales, we weigh it all there and then, pay the same day, and it's hassle-free.
Indeed, because I've been hoarding this stuff for quite a while, I must admit. I've had this bin for over a year now. Yeah. You're probably quite keen to see your asset put to some good use instead of me hoarding it like I have. Well, but there used to be at least 3 scrap metal recyclers in the area. They've all closed down. You just don't get car scrap yards anymore, do you? I used to like tooling around a car scrap yard. So to get rid of this stuff, I've got to go to White's in Coventry. That's a good over an hour of there and back and sorting out. It's just hassle, isn't it? So curbside collection is rather marvellous.
Yeah.
And I did use a local metal man in the area, who I don't use anymore, because last time I used him, I got rid of one of those.
The cylinders, holy grail of scrap.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. You know what he said? Oh no, there's no money in that. I'm not paying you anything, I'm just going to take it away. And I thought, okay, that's the last time I ever use you, mate.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, and that alone is there's not a lot of trust in the industry, and that's one thing we wanted to bring with Greencable is actually a bit of reliability and a bit of trust. And you can see exactly what we do here. The scales are there. You can see everything being graded and being weighed, and there's no messing around. Interesting as well, because this is obviously quite mixed. There's a lot of twin and earth and stuff like that in there, but there's also going to be NYYJ, bits of SWA, coax, comms cables. Are you particularly fussy about what you take? We buy all, everything except for steel. Steel's not worth it for either of us. It takes up a lot of space and payload of the van. But yeah, we'll get this on the scales. I'll pull the armoured out because the armoured is roughly half the price of typical household cable.
So it's best to keep the armoured separated. I can't guarantee that there's not more armoured in there.
That's fine. We're very used to just slinging it in the bag and picking the armoured bits out and weighing those off against the household cable. We do have plenty of customers who keep it coiled up and separate. That's great. But if it's in the bin, it's not a massive problem.
I should keep my armoured separate from now on. What about things like the copper pipe? Plumbers are weirdos, as we all know. The amount of time I'll see plumbers discarding bits of copper pipe and stuff under the floorboards, or anything. You know what? If you just band it up,
yeah,
there's money in that. It may only be beer money, but well, it's a rainy December morning, isn't it? And Christmas is around the corner, and well, someone's got to pay for my booze.
Yeah,
and you're the man.
That's me today. I'm happy to provide that role. Copper is the most lucrative metal in the scrap industry, really, except for your platinum and your golds, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, I mean, we've got plenty of heating engineers and plumbers, and we can serve them too. Everything except for steel. So looking at coppers and cables are the main item we buy, but if you have lead acid batteries, motors, aluminium, stainless steel, we can weigh all that in as well. In fact, I've actually got a bit of stainless steel and a bit of aluminium on board today, so we're used to that too.
Handy to know, right?
You're one of our early customers, David, because you've got one of the blue bins. The bins now these days are green. We had 100 yellow bins to begin with and then 50 blue, so you're one of the first 150 customers, which is a bit of an honour.
Well, I'm quite attached to my bin. I'm used to it being in the garden now.
So what we do is we just open your ticket, and you can see we've got 83 kilos.
Wow, 83 kilos.
On the scales there.
You wouldn't think it adds up to that much, really.
Exactly. Today, we can pay £1.75 per kilo, which is a very similar rate to scrapyards. Some scrapyards might be about the same, some maybe slightly better, but we like to price around that kind of region because we know that we're saving you guys a lot of time. Well, this is it, isn't it? I don't expect to get the same rate as I would if I'd have tooled it all over to the scrappy in Coventry, but then, you know, by the time I've forked out for my time in diesel, well, it's time I haven't got, basically. Yeah, this has always been the problem. It builds up very quickly, Yeah.
Much to the wife's annoyance. Finding the time to get shot is problematic.
If I had £1 for every time we had a customer who said about their other half complaining about the scrap in the garden, I would be on a beach somewhere in Thailand, I'm sure. So all I'm going to do now is just tip this bin straight into the bag. This is my gym workout of the day. Cheers, David.
We are refilling from my excess collection, and there's all different sorts of cable types here. I've got FP200, a lot of signal data cables, SCART, etc. A lot of it's part of my clear out comms cables. SY there. Also got some copper pipes because I'm having some plumbing done at the moment.
Lovely jubbly.
Filthy plumber.
All right, bin number 2 going on.
Bin number 2 plus also a box of Bright. Now again, going back to my video about 3 years ago, I mentioned about I sometimes like to spend an evening in front of nonsense on the screen, stripping cables. He's got a grin on his face like I'm a weirdo of some kind.
That's what I like doing as well, to be honest. We're both weirdos together.
Well, this is people say, oh, you spend an evening stripping, David. Well, it's not the kind of stripping you think. I've got one in my pocket here. A little baggie of copper. I fit the Hager solicitor accessories mainly, which all come individually bagged. Terrible for the environment, I'm sure. Greta Thunberg will be spinning in a grave if you were dead. But I find that, using those to just bag up your offcuts as you go along, it's amazing how quick it builds up. And if you just do that throughout the day.
We've been discussing about having branded sacks made for exactly that reason. So if you take them on site, instead of having to take these big buckets around and put the scrap in your van, you can just put them in your sacks as you go and then bring it back and empty into your bin. So
that's not a bad idea, yeah. Hopefully the trip's worthwhile with all this.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is a great load. It seems to be a common theme of the day that we're having big loads. We've done a few collections, but it's all piling up.
So what do you do with it once you take it away? Where does it go?
A lot of it we sell on, so it's a bit of a food chain really. We sell our cable currently to a company which will export it, or they'll send it to granulators in this country who will then granulate it all down, and that essentially has 2 conveyor belts at the end, one for the granulated copper, one for the plastic, and then both material types will be recycled.
I always wondered what happened about the PVC and the plastic.
Equestrian centres, they love it for their foot on the ground.
Oh really?
Yeah. But we're soon to be shipping our cable out to Northern Ireland, straight to a granulator, which is quite exciting.
Time for the Bright.
Yep. Right, that goes straight on.
It'd be nice to get rid of that bloody box as well.
Yeah. Right then.
Cleaning up the old cave in there and things like that are right my way.
Bright wire, we're 18 kilos on there. So today we're paying £5.95.
Crikey.
So essentially £6 a kilo for bright wire.
Really shows the difference, doesn't it? So you see, it pays to sit there in front of YouTube or Netflix or whatever, stripping away your cable offcuts. That's probably a 25mm tail that's been stripped off there, and some 10mm, etc. But even the little ones, they sure do add up.
Yeah.
So what sort of area do you cover?
We started out in Birmingham, but now we branch up as far as Manchester, Liverpool, and then all the way down through Birmingham down to Gloucester. And then in the new year we're branching out to Yorkshire and the southeast area, so sort of Bedfordshire, Northampton, Milton Keynes, that kind of area, Luton as well.
There is a referral scheme, so if you're watching this...
There is.
I have had one referral, and I've never actually cashed in on it, I must do that.
Yeah, we pay £10 for referral, so if someone signs up using your referral code, and we put £10 straight into your bank so you can get a drink on us. There you go.
Magic.
Mind you, £10 these days won't even buy you a pint or two, isn't it?
Well, I know in some places, no. I've been off the booze all throughout November, and then last night I hit the Jack Daniels. Thanks very much, Andrew Kerr, for sending me that bottle of Jack Daniels. And I'm just wrecked this morning. Wrecked.
Yeah. Are you in a bad way this morning?
Oh yeah.
How much did you drink?
Let's just say half the bottle's gone.
Really?
Much to the annoyance again of the wife. Basically, I just annoy the wife. That's what I do.
You've got to wind her up.
Yeah. So how much estimate was it?
32 kilos, yeah.
I do try to use SWA where I can, where you have like offcuts or whatever, but sometimes it just builds up and hangs around, and it's never quite the meterage you need, is it?
If it's sat in the garden too long, then it needs to go, I suppose.
Yeah, this is it. The moisture ruins everything.
Right, so we've got a bit of tube to go on as well. So
yeah, that probably doesn't amount to much. But speaking of that, I suppose if you are a plumber or do a lot of refurb stuff, bathroom fits, etc., you can have multiple bins, can't you? That you can separate then your pipe work from your cables, from whatever.
Yeah. We've got loads of customers who have got one bin, some have got two, some have got three, some have even got four. If you're going to get that kind of volume, if we're waiting 2 years to fill 4 bins, probably not going to work. But if that makes it easier for you, if you generate that kind of volume, then yeah, we can absolutely distribute multiple bins.
Yes, I've had mine bin over a year, and this is my first collection, so sorry about that again. As you can see, it's not for want of
it's a good collection.
The collection. I'm going to be more organised in the future, so the collections will be more frequent.
Yeah, brilliant.
I suspect.
No, that's great. We know it's depending on the jobs you guys get. You know, sometimes you might have a long string of rewires and generate large volumes of scrap. Other times you might do some testing stuff and you're not going to get as much cable.
Yeah, and also some of it's new. You've got new SY and FP200 there. It's just been hanging around for ages. I've got to clear my storage unit out. 5 minutes after I get rid of it, I'm probably going to get a job where I need it.
That is sod's law.
Yeah, it is sod's law, but you know, it's got to go. I just can't sit on this stuff forever.
So when we do the waste transfer document, we upload photos of all material on there so you can see a full audit trail for your records as well. And you, of course, receive that by email following the collection. Do you want the grand total?
Let's go for it.
Do you want to have a guess?
I wouldn't know where to start with my hangover.
So just under 350 quid.
Jesus Christ, you see, who's the fool now, eh? Hey?
Yeah, there we go. 346 and 15p because the pennies matter too. Right, so I'm going to finish that ticket, and then before I drive off, we'll make sure that payment is being processed, so it comes in today.
And as you say, you get the waste transfer documentation and everything.
As soon as the payment's gone.
All above board.
Yep, exactly. We've got all the waste carriers licence. We've got our own scrapyard actually in Staffordshire as well, so all of the boxes are ticked, and you know you're safe in the hands of Greencable.
There you go.
There you go. All right, cheers. And that's it. Happy days.
Marvellous
Nice
stuff.
one. Well, great to meet you finally.
Yeah, I can't believe it added up to that much.
I know.
Bowled over.
You can buy a few more bottles of Jack Daniels now.
Fuck off. I might go back to not drinking.
Yeah, until Christmas anyway.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can hack it anymore.
Jobs are good,
There we go. And that's me down the pub for Christmas.
Yeah, hopefully you choose to have us weigh in a nice hot summer's day.
Yeah.
We're not getting.
I know we were talking about you doing this collection back in the summer, weren't we? And it's just I'm pulled my finger out until now. So sorry to drag you out on a December day.
That's all right. My pleasure.
But it's grim.
Yeah, no, it's been great to meet you finally, and till the next collection. Nice one. All right. Cheers.
Well, what can I tell you? The audio and lip sync's crap, but the curbside collection was the dog's bollocks, with 346 notes stuffed into my trousers to be pissed into the urinals of the Hungry Horse pub. Just a few asides to mention before I close off this first dreadful affair for 2024, and yes, more is coming from this moron, probably still with terrible audio. Okay, first, this video isn't sponsored by Greencable. I approached them about making it because I think they're offering a rather super service. So aside from the cash for weighing in my CAC, all I have is my referral code, which I encourage you to use if you too have a bone on for their bin business. Speaking of your bin, when loading it, do remove any plug tops, lamp holders, JBs or other accessories. These kids want your cables, not any plastic sundries that happen to be hanging off them. Also, keep your materials separate for a quick curbside pickup. Pipes, SWA and generic cable should all be segregated, but as stated in the video, you can be supplied with multiple bins if you routinely handle different materials. On their website, greencable.com, you can both request a bin and book a collection. Wait, what's this? As seen on eFix? eFix? Who are they? Well, now they can jolly well change that graphic. In fact, I'll do it for them. Quick jiggery pokery and yeah, boy! One final point before we all dart off for a wee and a coffee. Pricing, referrals, offers and services were correct at the time of recording, but are nothing to do with me, and things may change at any time and without notice in the future. So, without further ado, let's move to the shouts for this one.
Well, that was jolly interesting, wasn't it? What do you mean, no? Of course it was. 350 notes for the scrapping of rubbish cable. Marvellous stuff. But just a few coffee shout-outs, because that's not my only source of income. Let's just pull them up on the old PC here. Indeed. Okay, and we are starting with Mr. Humbug, who is a whore, of course. Thank you once again for your contributions, Mr. Humbug. Always nice to see you on here. Following hot on the heels of our humbuggery is a virgin by the name of M-Stock Electrical. So thank you for your first contribution, M-Stock Electrical. Maybe your last. Who knows? If video content is this bad, and lots of people are missing Nigel, so it probably is, then maybe there won't be any further contributions. Never mind. A whore by the name of David Patterson. Top of the morning to you, David, over in Ireland there. Best wishes for Christmas and the New Year to you and the family. Have a Guinness or two on me. You know what? I did have a couple of Guinnesses with John Bullbag just last week, and it reminded me of how I do miss the old black stuff. I may have to go back to consuming it in great quantities. A whore by the name of Marky D Electrical. Thank you as always, Marky D. It's always nice to see you pop up on here. Long-time viewer. Long-time contributor, always a great watch as Marky D. I didn't say I had any taste. With a lot of honest opinions about products, don't change a thing. Well, I think you'll find change is slow on this particular corner of the internet, Marky D. Moving on to Super Wanks. Only a couple to read out. We have Stuart405, who is a blue super wanker and a virgin. Thank you, Stuart, for your first contribution. And again, perhaps only one. And we have another virgin, Hyperactive Base 753. That's hyperactive with a 1 instead of an I. Like what you did there. Who is a shocking pink super wanker. A very generous contribution, a shocking pink super wanker. So thank you very much, Hyperactive Base with a 1, 753. A couple of specials to quickly read out. Andy Curl, who was mentioned earlier in this video for the bottle of Jack Daniels. Thank you very much for that hangover, Andy. And yes, I did lose quite the day there. Tasty stuff though, got to admit. Very Moorish. And to Tom and his dad up the road there for providing the smokes. I do have a few cigars to puff my way through. Between Andy and Tom, years have been taken off my life, but then what am I doing with it anyway, except making this rubbish with terrible audio? So long, and catch you on the next one, hopefully with audio that's not crap. But probably not.